Hey, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I've been reading this absolutely wild story from this village in Indonesia, and I can't get it out of my head. 7 people died in the weirdest pattern.
Oh, yeah. The Sugomon case. That one's fascinating from a folklore perspective.
Like 7 deaths, and each new death happened right before they were about to bury the previous person. That's insane timing, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly the kind of pattern that communities pick up on immediately. It's not random anymore in their minds, it becomes a chain.
And get this. Every single body had these black circular marks on their necks, but officially, heart attacks. All of them.
And that's where the tension starts. Medical records say one thing, but people's eyes are telling them something completely different. When those don't match up, that's when communities start looking for other explanations.
Wait, so what even is a sugamong?
Okay, so it's not actually a ghost or a creature. It's more like a person who keeps these malevolent spirits. The village elder calls them people who maintain relationships with dangerous spirits.
Oh, so it's like a human sorcerer situation, someone who's made a deal with bad forces.
Exactly. And in a lot of Southeast Asian traditions, these relationships are seen as parasitic. The spirits demand sacrifices in exchange for power or protection or whatever.
That's wild.
Yeah,
People tried to stay rational at first, like maybe it's just a coincidence, but by the third, fourth death, when does a village actually tip from caution into full panic?
usually when pattern and physical evidence align, 7 deaths, same age group, same gender, same timing, statistically that's bizarre. And humans are really, really good at pattern recognition, so suspicion consolidates fast.
Then there's this prophetic dream. Paksakat dreams that the village will be sacrificed. 15 men, 13 women, 11 children. That's terrifying.
Dreams are huge in these communities. They're treated as legitimate warnings, not just random brain noise. That prophecy amplifies the fear and kicks off all the precautionary measures.
So they organize night watches, repurposed as defense.
Agreed. And the elders tell them to follow any suspicious figure discreetly, not to confront immediately. That shows both pragmatism and respect for ritual knowledge.
Then Pakulang sees this figure, a naked old woman dancing, hair covering her face, hands moving like waves, and later, other people see the exact same thing.
Those details matter so much. Hair over the face, repetitive gestures, nakedness, all that marks the figure as liminal, as crossing boundaries between the social world and something else.
And they follow her, and she goes into the house of Pak Bonar and Bu Mariana, just normal neighbors. That's when everything shifts.
Yeah, because suddenly suspicion has a target. The figure entered their house, so in the villagers' minds, there's a connection. Proximity plus secrecy equals guilt, basically.
Then it gets weirder. A cat with human eyes, a lanky man with cat eyes in a kid's room, figures dissolving into smoke. Is that escalation typical?
Very typical. Multiple sensory anomalies stacking up make denial really hard. And the cat motif is interesting. Animals as spirit vehicles show up everywhere in folklore. The cat with human eyes mirrors the cat-eyed man, which links domestic animals to the supernatural.
Then they find a locked ritual room in Bonar's house. Lime leaves on pins, snake bones, effigies, and, wait for it, a book with names. A death list.
Seriously, that book is the turning point. It's written, ordered, actionable. Names crossed out after each death, it's literally a ledger of sacrifice. For the villagers, that transforms fear into moral outrage.
I mean, reading that, I felt both horror and I kind of understood why people lost it, you know? Tangible.
You were going to say tangible evidence, right?
Yeah, tangible evidence plus all that grief creates this volatile mix. That's why some villagers move from watching to direct action.
And then it spirals completely. They burn down the house, capture Bonar's family in a cornfield, tie them up, parade them through the village, and then they beat them to death. Both of them.
It's tragic. When institutional trust breaks down, when people feel the system won't protect them, vigilante justice often follows. Anthropologically, it's a desperate grab for control. Doesn't justify it, but it explains the mechanism.
The narrator, Sasa, says explicitly she doesn't condone the killing, but she also describes feeling the villagers' fear. This is gripping.
Right, but she also contextualizes the atrocity. That duality is common in how communities remember traumatic events.
But here's what bugs me. The villagers tried non-violent stuff first. More patrols, consulting the elder Opung, even proposing offerings for the names in the book. Frustrating. Why didn't that work?
Multiple reasons. Emotional escalation, rumors spreading faster than deliberation, and leadership has limits. Oplong and the headman tried process, but once people found those ritual artifacts, they wanted a simple answer. That desire for closure pushed them past restraint.
There's this line that stuck with me. Villagers said, "Don't suspect each other without reason." Sadly, they tried, but suspicion found a target anyway.
Exactly. That warning from Paksakat was both vigilance and caution. But ironically, it increased awareness of anomalies, which primed people to interpret ambiguous signs as malicious.
Let's talk about those ritual objects. The lime on pins, snake bones, effigies, the book.
Yeah, those are classic sympathic magic tools. Lime, Jarek Purit, is both protective and used in curses across Southeast Asia. Pinning citrus can be a focus for bindings or hexes.
So these weren't just random props. They signaled real ritual practice. That makes the villagers' reaction more understandable, if not excusable.
The written list is especially dangerous. It externalizes intent, moves suspected malice from rumor into something you can hold and read. That triggers way stronger.
There's also this detail about a journalist trying to report on it, but villagers refuse to talk. That silence just feeds the myth.
Agreed. Secrecy after trauma is super common. Shame, fear of judgment, ongoing danger. Communities withdraw. Sasa says they don't want to reopen the wound. That preserves local narrative control, but blocks broader accountability.
Let's talk about the kids. Willie's account of the cat-eyed man is one of the most vivid parts. Softly, kids see weird things in these tales a lot. How do we interpret that?
Children occupy this weird credibility space. The reports are taken seriously because they're seen as innocent, but also doubted. In rural contexts, kids can be primary witnesses to the uncanny, and adults interpret their testimony through cultural lenses. Willie's fear catalyzes adult action.
The patrols to fill the streets so the Sugomon can't roam, that's such a human response, like restoring social rhythm to expel the uncanny.
Yes, restoring routine is a classic remedy. Public presence breaks the liminal conditions spirits exploit. Empty streets are invitations in local logic, so patrols were both practical and ritualistic.
But it wasn't enough. The figure returned, and the search led back to an ordinary household. Frustrating. It's terrifying how everyday life becomes suspect.
That's the horror, the uncanny hiding in the mundane. If your neighbor could be complicit, social ties fracture. That's the moral shock these stories deliver.
The lynching raises huge legal and moral. They acted out of survival logic, but executed justice without trial. How does anthropology treat that?
Measured, vigilante violence often arises where institutional capacity is absent or seen as illegitimate. The ritual artifacts, cumulative grief, and social fear created a vacuum for due process. The response was collective punishment, tragically predictable in some contexts.
The narrator, Sasa, says explicitly she doesn't condone the killing, but she also describes feeling the villagers' fear.